We are back. This is episode 10. Last week was number 9. I messed that up, but this is the first episode in the new era. I know we're not going to talk about it much today because we've been talking about it way too much lately. But the ETF is live, TFPN, and we're in a new era of Chesapeake Capital. We were just talking about how this weekend is my birthday. Sunday, July 16, I'll be 39, and that was, I think, I'm not sure when you exactly placed your first trade or you exactly walked into Richard Dennis's office in '84, but it was before July.
Oh yeah, January 2nd or so, 1984, we started, trading my first trade.
Yeah.
So it was a big year. We're a few years apart. I wonder if your parents were as excited uh, about you showing up as I was, showing up in Chicago. Um, wonder if, yeah,
Wow.
wonder, yeah, don't know.
Uh, that was probably, yeah, it was 3 months. It was probably still in that, all right, hopefully this doesn't, miscarry or something like that. I don't know if they were beyond the 12 weeks at that point. That's still kind of that big milestone you have to hit, right? Where the risk of miscarriage goes down. But uh yeah. Um
Oh, I didn't
I
mean
mean,
for
how
that
could you not be
topic.
thrilled?
Yeah, I didn't mean for that topic to come up. So I guess that's
No, I
right.
know.
You had another 7 months.
No, I know, but
Yeah,
how,
yeah,
how
yeah.
I mean, I just went through it, the last year, with
Oh
with
yeah.
uh with our son. So I'm used to all this conversation, friends having babies, all this stuff is very top of mind and fresh. I know all my numbers and metrics. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, how could you not be excited for me to arrive? Like, you're getting
That's right.
you're getting the you're getting the best son ever. It's just I can only imagine how they felt.
Yeah.
But
So can I.
um
Can only imagine how they feel now. Yeah.
oh, they're probably at all-time highs. Um
Oh my.
well, no, no,
Yeah.
you know what? They don't care about me anymore. All they care about is Preston, my son, their grandson, which is really funny. And I've talked to them. I pointed it out to them a couple of times because it's so ridiculous. But in their house, my childhood house, well, we moved there when I was, I think, 13 or 14. And, it was not to say a shrine to me, but I'm an only child. So I am in all the pictures. I'm everywhere. Still have my own room. My old room from 1998 up until a year or two ago after they redid some of the house, and then Preston was born last June. So all my pictures are replaced. I'm out. I'm nowhere like in view anymore. It's all Preston. It's my parents with pictures of Preston now.
That's awesome.
I've been whitewashed from that house. Um, yeah, they took down all my all state plaques. They took down all my baseball stuff, like everything. They took it all down. It's just so they put the
Oh.
crib in there. They got all of his baby stuff if he ever wanted to stay in there. So I'm gone.
Mm.
They don't care about me anymore. Bigger and better things now, which I understand. I mean, he's fun,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
uh, 84 though. That was 39 years, man. 39 years.
It's a lot.
What was as a I mean, I really didn't start waking up to the world probably until like the mid 90s. What was going on in the mid 80s to mid 90s? Like, we were touching about it last week of watching those old like the Enron and the Paul Tudor Jones and some of the old, documentaries and things like that to try to get like a sense of what life was like, how they dressed, what the music was like, all that stuff back then. And then be like, oh, really? Like watching the Enron, for example. That was around 2000. I was 16. I'm like, it was the best time ever. Like I was playing baseball. We were kicking ass, having so much fun in the middle of high school. And then, carnage is going on in the markets. And I didn't know any of it, like, was going on. Didn't know it was a totally different planet to me. So I don't know. Do you ever think about stuff like that? Like when you were younger or, you know, looking back on things and like, oh yeah, I forgot about that time. Like, I don't know. Do you ever think about that stuff?
Well, sometimes, I think about how much better things were, and how much more fun, and uh, relates to, what I was doing, music, experiences. I feel like it probably wasn't nearly the stress. But recently, since we've been having all these big projects and we're always trying to do something on the, the client side and the mutual fund and the ETF and the private fund trading, we come up with these new ideas and these accomplishments, and we're like, okay, things are a bit better now. And I'm always thinking, the first thing that comes across my mind is like, why didn't I think of this 20 years ago? Like you come out with an ETF,
Hmm.
and the only thing you can think about it is, we should have done this 5 years ago. And I think one of the lessons in life that we tell people is do the trade. Add the market. It's adds diversification, especially if it's a future. We're going to do all kinds of futures trades. We're not even thinking about a futures trade. Have you researched that market that's new in futures? Yeah, it's liquid and it's diversifying. Oh, well, you just put it in, which is good. But I'm like, okay, let's kind of maybe do the same thing with a couple equities. Yeah, I researched it. It's diversifying and it's liquid. Yeah, you may want to include that as well. Use CTAs. Okay, so you just do it. And I think you hear about it, you do it. And so you hear about ETFs for the first time, you say, well, I have a lot of managed accounts. I have a lot of mutual fund. I have mutual fund. I have a private fund. Do it. Just do it. I think it's one of the
Yeah.
lessons in life is when something comes along that's brand new, you just need to do it. And, I have been way too skeptical over the years about new and improved and shiny things. True, as a percentage, like 5 or 10% of them actually turn out to be anything. But it's the same way with outlier trades. If you want to get the outliers, you got to take the other 90%. And so in life, when I first heard about mutual funds, I delayed, didn't do it.
Hmm.
And you got this first mover advantage, and ETFs the same way. I tried to do an ETF like 10 years ago, gave up on it, didn't do it, and then it became sort of more normal, and it was able to have an actively managed ETF. Eventually, they allowed that. Then why didn't we do it 5, 6, 7 years ago? So I think that's what I'm always thinking about because I can legitimately look back at all my great decisions and say, well, yeah, it was a good decision, maybe, but I'm a little late to the game on some of these things. You don't want to be late to the game. You read about Amazon and Bezos, and he just goes on and on about his failures. We failed at this, we failed at that. The phone
Mm.
that didn't go, and so AWS kind of a success there. And I think when you
Hmm.
line these things up in life, and you're just like, okay, we got the AWS, we got the phone, we got this Amazon, Uber Eats, or whatever. Okay, of those three, you pick. I think the phone's going to work. Oops, it was AWS. And I think that is same with trend following trading. Is you need to put a lot of hooks in the water, and don't
Yes.
be skeptical. Don't think too much. Don't analyze. We add these stocks to our portfolio and we're trend following them, and we only put them on based upon liquidity and diversification. So we have to know something about them. But what I know about them is embarrassingly small. Oh, it's nothing. It's the same thing I know about soybeans. Almost
Sure.
nothing. I don't know if I've ever seen one. I certainly don't keep up with the weather or the planting or the
No.
harvest. No, I
Right.
don't know how
Uh,
I got on that subject, but
no. I saw a tweet. Still, one of my one of my idols, business idols, Jason Fried. Man, he's
I
just
don't know him.
locked in. Oh my God. He's so good. Uh, he runs 37 Signals, been in business like 25 years or something like that, and they started out uh, website design, and then they moved to a product management application for small teams to work on projects together and get stuff done, and kind of collaborate. Don't have texts and chats over here and emails over here, and it's all a mess. Trying to collaborate everything, and you do everything in one spot and have all your files, have all your milestones, and yada yada yada. It's great. But so they had tremendous success with that. They wrote some books too on how they do business, and uh, they're pretty much how I'd like how I aspire to be, which is basically like countercultural. They don't give a shit about the tech world, uh, as is popular with VCs raising money and not making money and going for the big payoff and going public, all this stuff and that. They're like, look, we're here to do good work, make good products, services, and sell it and make money. You know, that's what we're here to do. And like that's what good businesses do, and all these things. So they're always sharing their philosophy on business and stuff like that, and it's great. But I think he tweeted a day or two ago. He said, "Here it is. If there's one thing I've learned in business over the last 25 years, it's this." And this goes to what you were saying, Jerry. Every difficult decision would have been easier had I made it earlier. Boom.
Yes.
And it's the same,
Well,
like a fractal with trading. It's difficult to get out, but it's easier if you get out earlier. You know,
yeah.
according to
I
your
guess that,
your style,
yeah, I
your
think
rules or
that's
whatever.
true. I think that's true. Right, right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. I like that. And you got to have
Yeah,
these rules and ideas to keep yourself in a process to where you just immediately say yes. And you can say yes as long as you can define the the downside of being wrong as something a small loss. So, um, what is the cost?
yes.
Yeah, so maybe the whole thing about the ETF world is that now they are pretty cheap to set up. Maybe 10 years ago it was more expensive, and you're like, we can go for it,
Hmm.
but it's going to cost us $250,000. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe I can't. That's not a small lot.
Yeah.
But now, as soon
Right.
as it
Right.
becomes
Right.
more manageable, yeah, kind of go in there and you just knock out these things and see if it works. If it doesn't, you move on. So much of trading in my life has been the trading business has been way more trading and a lot less business. And all the really successful firms, it's at least equal, where you have great trading, but you also have great business. And the one thing that I've never seen happen in my life is, well, we'll be a little slack on marketing and client services and all the non-trading things that is going to help us raise assets because we'll be so good at making money. And I think for most people, that's
Hmm.
not going to work that well. You can be really good at making money, but um, you can't just concentrate on that unless you're just a super elite trader. I'm sure some firms out there, the famous ones, they beat people away. They tell people to go away versus trying to do
Right.
marketing or sales or client services. They're like, please don't publish the website. But they're all of us mortals. We need to do a good job on both.
Yes. I think that's fine. You know, I think if you don't have the product right, you don't have something that people want to buy and people continue to buy and hold on to and see the value in, then okay, all the marketing and all that stuff is not going to do anything anyway. I think if you have to have one thing right, it's got to be at least in our business, the making money thing. Uh, because there's way too many other things to invest in, and of course people are going to be looking at they enter the game for that reason, to make more. Uh, so if you're not doing that, and you're not doing that, uh, and your fees, costs, whatever, don't justify it, then they'll move on to something else. It's like, well, hold on, let me show you our new paper. Like, I don't give a fuck about your paper. I don't care what you say. You said enough. I see the results. I don't, you can stop talking. Um, but yeah, I think that's one thing you got to get right first, and then you can improve your overall situation, um, for your business by enhanced through marketing and client services, things like that. But yeah, you never put. Did you ever put much effort into those things early, even in your earlier days, or no?
Yes, yes, we put resources into those things. Um, yeah, we did, we did. But you know, looking back, you just got to keep trying. And if it doesn't work with what you're doing or the people, you need to change those people. Um, I read this article once. This is a little bit off the subject, but I've mentioned it before, and it was Harvard Business Review. It's still out there. It's called Hire Slow, Hire Slow, Fire Fast. Like, get the resumes in, read
Mm-hmm.
them, size them up, um, and make an intelligent choice. And then if it doesn't work, get rid of them. Quickly, quickly, quickly. For everybody, it's going to be the best.
Right.
And that's a lesson that everybody learns over time, whether it's hiring a nanny, a babysitter, the cleaner, the maid, whatever, the employees. It's all the same. We had a new house cleaner the other day, and I asked my wife, "How long did it take you to know that this woman was the best you've ever met in your entire life?" She said, 5 minutes. Like, yeah, exactly. And that is kind of the deal. And unlike trading, where you have to be more, you want to be way more patient with a trade. Uh, it's still, and it's just, and very similar to trading. You know, you can do the exact right thing, follow a process. The process is going to be wrong sometime. You're going to get out of that trade with a loss or at some point, and it's going to go right back up. And you're going to make mistakes with how you handle situations and people in a process that is built to work most of the time. It's not going to work every time.
Yeah.
Another article I read was first impressions are basically the best guide to hiring people and maybe choosing friends or whatever. But yeah, if you don't, and it went on to say like, yeah, go with you. You shake the person's hand, you meet them, you sit down, 5 minutes. You kind of know this is really looking good or oh, bad vibes. And the article went on to say
Bad vibes. Right.
one of the things that we do when we get the bad vibes is we sit there and we are like trying to rehabilitate this person. What's wrong with me? Why do I have to be so negative? Why don't I embrace this person? Don't make a quick judgment. A guilty conscience gets to us, but they're basically saying like, no, 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 no. It's not that way. I know you want to be a nice person. You want to give this person a chance, but stop. If it doesn't go well, recognize it and just move on. Cut losses short. Pretty funny.
Uh, I'm trying to instill that mindset, that approach um, in my wife as well. My son's starting to eat, and he's starting to get maybe pickier about what he wants to eat. So we have some rules, and there's we usually try one of the methods is something he loves, something he likes, and something that's new for him. And
Mm-hmm.
The one he loves, he'll probably go for that. That's probably like your slam dunk. Like he'll eat this no matter what. Um, the other one, maybe some days the one he likes, the one he might eat it, he might not. We don't know. And the new one, we'll see if he like. He could, he might hate it, but but it's but it's an approach where like these are your three or four foods, and that's that. You are done. You don't get to keep telling us, I don't want this. Give me something else. Give me something else. That way, you're
Yeah.
always creating this picky monster. Um, but um, but sometimes I'll say, oh yeah, the ones he loves and likes ebb and flow. Um, he's really into quesadillas right now. Loves quesadilla, and uh, he doesn't always like them, but the last several meals, last few meals, he's just inhaling them. So
Wow.
my approach would be, okay, we're going to stick with this until he stops, until he's like, all right, I'm bored of this. I'm going to go to the other one. And then I would say, all right, no more quesadilla for that next meal. After he shows you, he's like, I'm bored. So instead of
Yeah.
just trying to force it down his throat, literally, like, no, this is what you like. No, it's a rolling fact. It's not a fact forever. Um, and we see it with toys too. We just switch out some toys. He's just goes around and around, and uh, it keeps him away from getting frustrated, or he doesn't throw tantrums yet. He's only 13 months, but just things like that to bring more trend following and adapting into everyday life to keep away from those throwing the food all over the place or throwing his toys or just crying in general, and like, what the heck, what's the matter now? Because he can't talk yet, he can't express himself yet. So just to start doing more things that are on trend. So uh, yeah, just improve our odds of that he's in a good mood, that he's playing with stuff, he's got toys he likes, he's got food he likes, he's gonna eat, because that's all the risk. The risk, at least with the eating, is that he doesn't eat, and maybe it's not so much a risk anymore. But earlier days when he's not as big, he doesn't sleep. And then, oh, I want some milk in the middle of the night. It's like, you can't just appease him. Say, all right, fine. It's like a bailout. All right, fine, I'll give it to you because all I want to do is for you to shut up and I want to relax. Well, long term, you're in deep shit because he's just gonna say, I don't want to eat. I'll get my milk later. Like, no, you can't live like that. So, um, yeah, I'm way, way, way advanced in the trend following mindset than she is, and most people in my family are. And they're more in this like controlling, I think, um, thing, or I just want to please you. Like, no, no. Pleasing is bad, and the controlling is bad. They don't work out long term, um, unless you get lucky.
Well,
I
yeah,
think if you get lucky.
I'm more in the since we have this difference in age.
Mm,
Um, I'm more into figuring this stuff out about my dogs and
mm,
how to manipulate them and keep them under control. And I mean, my kids hope I think they've pretty much survived my parenting skills. But these dogs, I'm learning more and more about them all the time. I trained two of them to go up and down the steps this week. We have some steep steps, and they're little puppies, and they didn't want to go up and down. And I was trying to coax them up and down, dragging them, pulling them.
yeah.
Then, you know what happened? They immediately learned treats. Gave them some treats.
Ah,
But I
yeah.
know what I wanted to say is that don't judge me, but um, I think one of the things that the TikTok app does
You
is
love
that I've
TikTok.
said
This
this
is a
before.
new thing. Yeah,
Well,
you love this TikTok.
well, come on. It's something we should stay away from. It's Chinese. They're selling our information. It's addictive, blah, blah, blah. So if someone says, right, it's an amazing algorithm, right? You're not surprised it's amazing. Well, yeah, would it be amazing? For all the reasons you just said. It's addictive, it controls you, it's people can't stay away from it. They know the Chinese are doing something with your information. They still are going to use it. So I'm just like saying, hey, let me just tell you that on the one hand, you're right. On the other hand, it's an amazing algo for all the wrong reasons, let's say. And one of the things it does
Yeah.
is it doesn't wait for you to get bored. No, 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 no. They know. Oh, that would be very simplistic, right? He no longer looks at Seinfeld rerun videos any longer. Now,
Right.
what are we going to show him? Oh, God, no. It's the best algorithm ever. So the best algorithm ever figures out when you're going to get bored and switches before. So, little parenting advice, not show Preston TikTok, no, but anticipate his boredom, right?
Mm.
What would TikTok do?
Oh.
what what would TikTok do? So yeah. Yeah, and
Uh,
I know that in particular. If you brought it just like that to your lovely wife, she would really have some sort of reaction.
oh, we should get that on camera.
She would put you in timeout for a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
timeout.
We'll be doing the next video, I'll be in the black. It'd be black. Lights would be out because I would have, black and blues
Yeah.
all over my face. You know,
Mm,
she
yeah.
wouldn't go for that. Um, we only, yeah, we only, right now, we only show him TV, uh, when we have to cut his nails, or they don't cut him anymore, but we have a filer. We file his nails, because he won't sit still. But remember when he was younger during football season, he loves football. He just looks and he's painted to the TV with football. Uh, so
Really?
TikTok might make his head explode. I'm sure he'll get to it when he's old enough anyway. He's gonna watch and use all these things. Who knows what will be out by then, but uh yeah. Anticipate. Ah, I think you get good at anticipating when you get good at reacting. Like get good at like observing what is. And then you can kind of start to feel the what's coming next as you're in the flow. If you're always like you're always in the future thinking about, what should be or what should have been in the past. You can't anticipate well, I don't think. I don't think you could do that. In my experience in sports, you get really good anticipating when you're like in the flow, locked in, completely absorbed by what's happening in front of you. You're not like, even your mind, like you're not really thinking about much. You're just like watching, observing what is, and then you're like, oh yeah, he does that when he's no longer okay. I picked up on that quicker. So maybe not anticipate. I might just get better at reacting quicker. That looks like I react. I picked up on it faster than someone else. So they're like, wow, how did you know that? Like, well, I just reacted faster than you. You thought it was anticipatory, but it's not. It was just quicker, quicker, quicker. Maybe TikTok's doing that too. Like, yeah, he's still watching Seinfeld, but his time watching them is average going down. He swipes past them quicker now. That might mean that he's getting over it. Right? He's starting to move on. You know, and then we'll show him something else. So things like that. I don't know, the little brain tricks, but
Yes. Brain tricks. We use those in our
yeah,
trading and in
brain
life.
tricks.
Little brain tricks. Yep. All right. This one's going to
What
have to
would
be short
TikTok
and
do?
sweet.
Yeah, you got another
Uh,
podcast right now
I got
on
another
the
one to
RCM
do.
alts.
So, yes, RCM podcast with Jeff Malik.
I'm sh-
I should
Yep.
go do
Serious.
something about my hair. Not that I don't respect our audience on this one, but my hair is a little out of control. Maybe
It's a little, the Hamptons
a little thin.
wins are doing a number on that one.
Hamptons, yeah, Hamptons wins. But
Yeah.
have a good weekend. Thank you for
You
all your
too?
hard work. We couldn't have done it without you in a good way.
What'd you say? I couldn't hear it. Say it louder.
We couldn't have done it without you this week in a good way.
I know.
So,
That was a joke. Oh,
oh,
my
you
pleasure.
wanted me
It's
you wanted me to repeat it, right? Sure.
it's it, it, it was fun. ETF's up and running. Hopefully, it's a booming success, and markets just cooperate. You know, that'd be lovely.
Right.
And
You'll be the first. You'll be the first to know if it's a success. Yes.
I will.
As yes.
As we said the other day, am I now the linchpin to Chesapeake Capital? It's all running through Mike Melosino's tech right now. So,
Yeah.
um,
All right.
so if
All right.
there's
I'm gonna
any
sign
if there's
off.
any problem with it, you could probably blame me, everyone out there. You know,
All right.
that was a joke too. But
More.
yeah.
More.
All right.
More. All right. Take care.
Take care. Good weekend.
Yep. You too.
Bye.
Bye.